how would you go about, a client approaches you, and they need to tackle all this? How do you go about approaching and walking through to get them, whether either it's educated or work with them to get it working with their system, and talk about that process and how we get people involved. And
so we would, if we're approached by a client and they say we need help, with the distribution center, we would be, first thing we would be doing is sitting down with them and asking them about their program, how a lot of this, how do they want their facility to work, what technology are they looking at to put into the facility, and continue to listen with all of the information that they're trying to put out, that they want to get into their system. A lot of times an owner will already have their automation system or whatever already in the process of being designed when we come into that process. So we're kind of, I won't say reactionary to be building the building, but we're adapting the building around what they're asking for in their processes, working with their industrial engineers and learning their processes and how everything is supposed to work within their facility goes a long way to telling us where are the offices need to be located, what other infrastructure needs to be within that building, what other technology. That's not just about the automation. We also have forklifts. And I say everybody looks at a forklift as, well, it's a piece of equipment. But the technology, even within the forklifts now, are to the point where you have lithium-ion batteries, you have hydrogen cell facilities. Each one of those present specific challenges to the designer in getting these things integrated into your building, because each one of them have a different specification on how they're supposed to operate and safety measures involved. So identifying all of those things and looking at each one of those pieces is something that we've been trying to look at and talk with owners and understand, how does this integrate into your building? How do you want your facility to operate, and with the people involved? A lot of it, like you said, we talked many times about that safety and wide hallways for getting people in and out, light, all of those things come into play. And those are the questions that we would be asking up front. So what are some of the challenges? I mean, I know there's a few challenges that I know of, but I'm curious about your perspective on challenges of retrofitting an existing retail space that is, a lot of, with this COVID, there is a lot of extra retail space that were mom and pop stores that are now, available. There's a lot of real estate out there that's not being utilized. What are some of the challenges that we face trying to convert that into a micro fulfillment center?
All right. It starts with, what are the uses of the building? What is the access? What is the, density around? And, studying those metrics of, what are they really going to serve? Where are they getting to? What is the stability of the building? Looking at how many doors, can we add doors? Can it serve how many trucks? Is the truck traffic going to be a deterrent? There's, a lot of the backbone stuff that people don't stop and think about. And then, technology, again, going into the building, it's not just, robots and tech like that, but it's just your standards, your utility of, can I get my server information in there and connect to my network, and how am I tracking this, and where's it going? And so knowing where those, what that looks like, and studying that and working with our, our consulting partners to make sure we get them the right solution. So, a lot of factors can go in depending on what they're trying to serve and how they're going about it.
I haven't experienced this as of yet, but have we had issues with converting one, like with cities? We have a retail space that maybe they don't want a whole bunch of trucks running around all over the place. And, how would we educate the city in that respect, or even an owner, a prospective developer?
Yeah, no, that's good. And that's something we've recognized as as we get out into, a lot of pre-COVID into the conversations, but still going on now in conferences and such, is a big pinch point or a pain point for owners was the upfront and entitlement. And they're partnering, rightly so, with, the right design build or this, but they don't have that experience to know, we've worked across the country for 60 years almost now coming up, and, and several, a few years here. And, we've touched, all these communities, and we know, that permitting piece of it. We can get you rolling there and know where, even before you start getting too far along, hey, you're spending your money in the wrong place because you're going to hit a roadblock. And so we can help out there. But convincing them, it's a with a lot of the last mile delivery, it's a new service, and so a lot of people are dumping that into the cities. Their ordinances don't have a category to put it into, and so we're having to have a lot of that. And talking about sometimes if it's was previous a retail center, there's a lot less traffic because there's not daily trips that maybe it's a few trucks that you would have had anyway for delivery, and trucks going out at night of that serve a different purpose. But a lot of it is an intermediate. It's not just a warehouse that's full storage. It's transient, right? It's come in and ship out. And so it's more like a mail service, and that's where a lot of times we're seeing it fall in. And so the different zonings and categories we're having to be creative and work with the cities and work with the clients and make sure they fit right.